So that is our hillside in the background. And know that when you put pigment on the paper, you can move it around if you don't like exactly where you've put it. With clean water on a brush, you can do an awful lot. All right. Now I'm going to start to build the trees a little bit more. So I want a nice green. So let's see. You're going to have to experiment with the colors that you have in your palette so that you get the colors that you're really looking for. Okay? And I'm going to start to darken some of my trees. So there's a tree here that goes a little bit darker, and it's around a lighter tree. And there's another little light tree here. And I'm going to put dark areas around the building because I want it to stand out. Except, of course, it's a little damp because I just painted it. So use your tissue to wipe it up. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I want to make the areas at the bottom of the trees, I want to make them pretty dark. So let's do this. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting in the trunks, and if I want the trunks to be a little less green and more red, all I have to do is just add a little red to this color that I put in. Okay. Now, I want to make the tree in front stand out. So I'm going to start to fill him in. And dark colors come forward, light colors tend to recede. So if you have something that is in the foreground, chances are it's going to be darker than what's in the background. I want to leave some areas where the sunlight hits the tree. So I don't want to fill it all in and make it all dark. I want to keep some light areas. Okay. And then later on, I'll go in and I'll even darken that more. so let's make these trees a little more yellow. They can be, we can pretend they're aspens. In our neck of the woods here. Okay. And let's make the we'll make these more evergreeny trees a little darker as well. Now, one of the things that you want to do is, I've got a lot of hard edges in this tree over here from darkening it. So what I want to go in and do is soften those edges so it doesn't look like a popcorn tree, and it doesn't look like, oh, I just went in with a whole bunch of blobs and did it that way. So just by softening it, it starts to look a little bit more natural. Okay, so you want to always have a series of hard and soft edges in any of your vegetation so that it doesn't look like it's all forced. And sometimes you're going to see the green or what's behind the trees through them. So if you've got yellow trees, you may want to see a little green through them. Okay. All right, so now I was going to do these tall pine trees. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, you want to start with your second layer as you're adding your medium colors. You want to start to shape what the trees look like. So you want to show what the vegetation is, what shape it is. And it's always nice to show that a trunk goes through the tree. Okay, let's see. So that means I want a very dark color. And I thought I had one mixed up here. Yeah. There we go. So you want to wait until it dries. Otherwise, the trunks won't remain trunks. They'll go into leaves. So you definitely want to let all of that dry nicely before you start adding that. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit more texture to the meadow here. Or the great big lawn in front. Let's put it that way. Okay. Now this actually is a little hill that comes in. So let's make that a little more prominent. It's kind of like and let's bring this color. Let's see. I'm going to bring the color down into the weeds in front. Okay. All right, so now we've got the whole first layer done. We've done second layers by adding the texture and what the plants look like here. Now we add the darks. And the darks start to really define our picture and give it drama. Okay, so I want to think in terms of what are the darkest areas that I see. Well, one of them is this little patch of weeds in the front, this tree, these trees, these kind of middle ground trees, and I decided to leave that off. So those are the ones that I'm going to want to mix enough paint. And of course you've got the shadow in the foreground, but that's actually lighter than some of these others. So I want to mix a nice green that is dark. Let's see. So how do you get a dark green? Well, one way that you do, you mix your blue and yellow, and in this case I had started out with cobalt, and then you can add Prussian blue to it. Your Prussian blue is a very dark blue, so it will start to give you that nice, rich, dark look. All right, so I see that I have some darks over here. And again, this paper is still wet. So the good news is that it is going to blend and it's going to soften these darks that I'm putting in. The bad news is that it's going to blend and soften them. So you have to be careful about where you place them. And maybe you want to let your paper dry more than I have with this one. You know, that's again going back to patience. And I often work on multiple paintings all at the same time, so that as one is drying, I can go and I can work on another one. And that works very, very well. I know a number of people that do that. That way you don't, you're not sitting there all ready to paint with nothing to paint for 20 minutes or half an hour. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit of darks to some of these trees back here. We want the house to show up, So I'll be adding a little bit more rich color to that in a little while. And again, remember that you don't want your trees to look polka dotted. So after you've added these bits of darker color, go in with clean water on a brush and soften, move them around a little so it doesn't look like polka dots.